retrograde, waiting for a moment to arise. You don't want me for nothing, baby. You want to use me for good.
All right. Welcome back to East Coast DNA. I have another of the younger end of our guests. We've been all over the spectrum lately, age-wise. Genre-wise, probably we're sticking in a nice little safe zone. But I do know a lot of our artists that we've had lately have had a lot of 90s influence over the last year. And I think today's guest is probably no different despite the young age. So we have Petra Moriarty today. And I'd like to thank you for coming over to the apartment, first of all.
Thank you.
And secondly, I apologize if it seems a little stuffy in here today, because with the weather the way it is, I'm just not getting the airflow in here. So we'll do the best that we can here today.
Alrighty.
So first of all, I mentioned the age thing. So you're a high school student at this point.
Yes.
Now, I've been aware of you for quite a while as a performer. Now, I do know your parents, and you're a local musician, so of course I'm going to be aware. But when did you actually start playing, more so than singing, when did you start playing like guitar, I guess, or piano, whatever you started first?
So I started guitar when I was, I think, 4 years old, because I got my first guitar for Christmas, but I didn't start lessons until I was 5.
Mm-hmm.
Same with piano. I alternated between guitar and piano with my teacher at the time, Lynn DeCoste. So there'd be days where we would just play piano and then guitar, or just one lesson guitar. Like, it was all different, but I was learning both at the same time.
That does seem to be a lot of the people that I know that teach lessons that are active musicians do seem to be a little bit more fluid with the way, customized, I guess, to the student.
Mm-hmm.
So in your case, I mentioned some 90s influence, and I think that comes from your parents more so. But I was aware of you doing covers of songs that I would have grown up listening to. So early on, and this ties into what you're doing now, but early on, I'm aware that you actually performed on the Glasgow Square stage as like one of the Jubilee days. So, like, how long ago was that? Like, was that like... I feel like it was so long ago that it's impossible for it to have been you.
Yeah, I don't even
But
know.
you played keyboards and did a Tool cover?
Oh, that was Music Mountain.
It was Music Mountain?
Music Mountain, yeah.
Okay. So how long ago was that one, though?
That was 2018, I think.
2018.
2018.
Okay, so this is going back a piece. So at that point, you'd been playing for a while, but now you've been playing like twice as long?
Yeah.
So what did people get now when they... I did get a chance myself to see you play for a little bit down at the Shoebox Cantina.
Yeah.
But what can people out there expect when they're going to go see you perform nowadays?
You'll definitely hear a lot of Fleetwood Mac, because they're one of my biggest influences.
Okay.
But aside from that, I have a pretty wide range of music that I listen to, music that I play. Like from Tom Petty, Stevie Nicks, to like slow folk and Dolly Parton, and not only that, but I do play a lot of my own songs. So if you see me, you'll be hearing a lot of my own stuff.
So that's the next part I did want to get into, is your own original material. How much do you have built up at this point? Like, if you were to do a set solo of just your own original material, like, can you do an hour? Can you do 2 hours?
Probably an hour.
Yeah.
I have 13 originals.
Wow.
So far, throughout the years, I've collected 13, but probably only 5 solid ones that I like.
Sure, that's...
Yeah.
So,
5 or 6.
are you recording any of these songs then?
Not, I'm not in the process of recording, but I'm hoping to get to that sometime this year, if not next year.
So it sounds like you get enough for a nice solid EP at the very least.
For sure.
And that seems to be the structure of the way people do things these days. So one thing notable that's happened more recently is I've seen your name floating around there, because the Glasgow Jubilee is having a battle of the bands.
Yeah.
So you're one of the names that I've seen show up on there. Now, I'm probably going to shout out to some other people in future episodes, because I think I know most of the people that are actually on the lineup. but you're the first that's been a guest since that's been announced anyway. So, do you know much about that? To talk about it a little bit about what the prize is or anything like that?
I'm pretty sure. So it's a set at the Jubilee. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure it's like 45 minutes or something. I think it's the opening night on the Friday. With I'm not 100%, but I think it's $500 and a professional photo shoot.
Cool.
And then second place is, I think, like a set at a gazebo somewhere or something.
Cool.
I'm not sure, but
Do you think that if you have success with that might influence you to get into the studio a little bit sooner?
oh, for sure.
I think that's kind of
For
where
sure.
I was getting at, more so than whether or not you think you're going to win. So,
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think like if I did win, I would use that money to put towards studio time.
excellent.
So kind of like invest it in again.
So, with that in mind, outside of the Jubilee specifically, what other summer plans do you have? Are you planning to get out there and playing some of these patios that are opening up there?
Yeah, so I'm doing the East Pictou Rural Fair again. I did that last year. Not anything in the books yet, but I mean, summer's still a couple months away.
Sure.
Um,
And your age, that's a question I want to get into. And maybe you haven't considered it that much because you're still in the school months. I know summer's right there, but with your age, have you run into trying to perform anywhere where you really can't because it's like bars and you have to be 19 or over, that type of thing?
well, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But I did play at Wranglers.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing was is that one of my parents had to sign a form just giving consent that I could play, but I
Mhm.
could only go there for my set. I couldn't show up early. I couldn't stay late. Like I could only go in and play, and then I
Okay.
had to leave.
I know people that would have done that when they were your age, but they haven't been your age in a while. So I was curious to talk to somebody that is your age to see how that works.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've had a couple people on my show that are in your demographic, but I never really get a chance to ask that question. So that's good that there's opportunities,
Mhm.
and there is a lot of all ages stages out there. There's not as many as I would like to see, but there seems to be an increasing number of them. People at least attempting some outside the box performance options too. So hopefully there's a few things coming up for you, and maybe if you stick around for a little bit after the interview, I might give you a couple ideas and some people to look into to see if you can get some ideas going forward.
Perfect.
So you mentioned that you have the originals that you could record.
Mhm.
But if you haven't gotten to that part yet, are you currently getting yourself disciplined that you have like a regular practice schedule, or are you still taking lessons? Like, we're all students for life.
Yeah, so once I hit high school, I stopped taking lessons just
Mhm.
because everything started to get so busy, like band and choir and all that,
Mhm.
plus like every other extracurricular, like
Sure.
so I stopped doing music lessons for that. So I kind of took it up on my own.
Mhm.
But I don't really have a practice schedule lately because like I said, like we're super busy, so
Yeah, yeah.
like every week is different. Like I can't designate like one day to do something in
Mhm.
case band is canceled or
Yeah.
we have to go to the barn or like something. So usually I practice a lot more when I know that I have a gig coming up.
Mhm.
So definitely with the Battle of the Bands coming up, definitely going to start ramping up my practice schedule and perfecting the songs that I'm going to play.
And so for that, I know that you can perform solo, but do you have people accompanying you, or
Nope, just me.
you're going to do it all by yourself?
Yeah.
So how are the nerves? Like, I know you have experience, but like,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
It's nerve-wracking for
Yeah.
sure, but I mean, I made it this far on my own.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm confident.
And now I know that you play keyboards and you play guitar, so will you be doing a little bit of both for the performance?
No,
or
just guitar.
you're just doing guitar, so you'll have the guitar up there with you?
Yeah.
Now, what type of themes do you have with your songs? Are they all around the same type of themes, or are you all over the place with that as well?
I would say like they're all around the same
Yeah.
kind of theme. I usually just write like from my feelings, so
Yeah.
they're definitely the same but like very different stories. Like same vibe but different storyline. I would
And
definitely say.
you did mention going to the barn, so I know that you have a little bit of a country lifestyle. You have some animals that you look after. So, like, do those type of influences kind of push your original music in any specific direction for theme or genre?
Think so.
Just pull more from interpersonal experiences.
Yeah, I would say.
So I'd be interested to hear some of those. If you'd like to take a quick little break now, maybe we can hear a little song, and then we can come back and have a few more little chats.
Awesome.
But great, thank you.
She brought me down and turned me into nothing. She made me feel like I'm the one who's broken. I was always told that I would get far, but well, if I'm broken, all the best ones are. And I know not to let her get to me, even though she makes my tears flood the sea. You know her personality is lethal. No wonder why they call her Miss Evil. Don't you dare disturb my peace when you're at war with yourself. How I get my revenge, I don't know, but God knows I can't just let this go. And I know not to let her get to me, even though she makes my tears flood the sea. You know her personality is lethal. No wonder why they call her Miss Evil. How I get my revenge? Well, I know it's when her kids played my songs on the stereo. And I learned not to let her get to me, even though she made my tears flood the sea. You know her personality is lethal. No wonder why they call her Miss Evil. Oh, yeah. fend for yourself. This is just one book you've tossed right off by your shelf, and now I'm lying here in retrograde, waiting for a moment to arise. You don't want me for nothing, baby. You wanna use me for good. You don't want me for nothing, baby. You wanna use me for good.
And welcome back. Thank you for the musical treat.
Thank you.
So one of the questions I did check before we hit record again to make sure that you had something in the can for an answer. But with all the effort that you've put into music so far at this early point in your life, I was kind of hoping that you were going to continue on that road in the next few years, since you get to the point that high school is going to be behind you in a couple of years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what's future prospects looking like for education-wise?
So, I mean, ever since I knew what music was when I was a kid, I knew I wanted to be a rock star. I knew I wanted to be the new Katy Perry. Like, she was like my role model. I mean, she still is. Like, she's an icon. But I knew that I always wanted to do something in music, like, in the future. But my ultimate goal is to become, like, a professional artist. But if that doesn't, like, really work out, I want to go to become a psychologist and minor in music and equine sciences. So my plan for that would be to open up my own psychology practice and be able to do music therapy and animal therapy.
Oh, cool.
So, I mean, all my interests, like helping people and music and animals, I mean, like, can't ask for anything more.
I was all ready to hijack your answer and say that you're only taking psychology so that you could work on the lyrics, especially since you're saying thematically it was more about the whole interpersonal connection and emotionals.
Right.
But the fact that you're able to pull together all of your influences, put it in one bucket, and still have a very feasible career there, that's a great idea. So kudos to you to be able to do that. I don't know if maybe give a little bit of props to your parents there too. Maybe they did their job, maybe guiding you in the right direction.
Oh, for sure.
So in the meantime, while you're still here in Pictou County and you're not quite at that university age, what types of things are keeping you out of trouble and keeping you involved in music?
So I'm in jazz band and concert band at my school and the choir, and within the new year, the musical will be starting up, so I'll be busy with that.
Awesome.
But the rugby season just finished, so it was my first.
We playing rugby too?
Yeah, first year.
Man, well-rounded.
Yeah, it
Good
was
job.
a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
And so did the school pick what they're doing for a musical this year?
Yeah, we're going to do The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah, so we did that when I was in grade 5. And I was the Tin Man.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of hoping for the Tin Man this year just for the nostalgia. But I mean, honestly, I'm fine with anything.
Yeah. You got a padded resume now, though, so
Yeah,
you should be able to get what you want.
for sure.
And outside of that, what other type of activities are you doing outside of the school that keep you with music?
Yeah, so a lot of like the gigs and stuff keep me in music, and usually depending on my emotions or how my day goes, like I'll go up to my room, write a song. 10 minutes later, I'm coming downstairs like, Mom, Dad, guess what I just wrote? And that's really what's been happening recently.
Well, that's good. Well, and aside from having, as I mentioned, I'm aware that your parents are supportive of you doing music. So, I mean, aside from having that as a foundation, is there anything that you would recommend to anyone else out there that maybe is the age that you were when you started, or maybe even your age and they haven't yet started, but they have an interest in music? Is there anything that you'd recommend for getting out there and getting that first foot in the door, for trying to play or get out there and meet new people that have a common interest in that?
For me, I would definitely say, like, if your school has a music program, like, definitely get involved in that. Because the connections I've made within, like, the school, like, the friends I've made, and then from there, like, my teacher was giving me opportunities to play gigs and meet new people. So just from, like, I've had the connections before high school, but especially once I got to North Nova, like, it just branched out. And
now we have to give the teacher a shout out. What's your teacher's name?
Ian Grant.
Okay, thank you, Ian, for being supportive. That's not the first time I've heard your name on this.
Yes, and then before that, when I was in middle school, Stephen Hartland.
Oh, yes.
So he was definitely a huge influence.
Yes, I'm aware of him as well. As you're aware, I have children that are on both ends of your age. So, yeah, I'm familiar with the school system here as well. So
we've got a lot to thank.
Yes, and back in the day, that the Glasgow music programs was actually where I got my foundational music education as well. So I'm very familiar with the concept and the types of things that they're teaching over there. But it's nice to see that many years later, I think it's been like 5 years since I've been in high school, maybe. So maybe a couple more. I can't remember. I wasn't very good at math. But there was definitely an excellent music program right here in Glasgow, so it's nice to hear that they've maintained that over the years. Yeah. I do believe, I mean, we have 2 major high schools in this county, but I do believe there's an excellent music program at the other high school as well. Yeah. So we didn't always have that equality across all of the schools. Mm-hmm. So that's also a nice thing to see that has changed over the years. Yeah. And I'm going to give a little shout out. I constantly mention them because it seems like half of my guests are either in school or attended the Nova Scotia Community College. So outside of the psychology interest that you have, I think you should probably look at some of the programs there too. And I'm probably going to bug you about some of that when we stop recording too, because there's a few programs that are not really that long that would probably be very helpful for you. So I definitely want to keep an eye on what you're doing over the next couple of years. If you're ready to record and put something out, I would like to have you come back on for another episode. Mm-hmm. And if you meet any new friends in the summer months out there performing, and especially this Battle of the Bands coming up might get a few new people on your radar, feel free to invite a couple people on the show here with you. Bring a guest, and we can do a little introduction to everyone who they are too. All right, so I'm going to thank you for your time and thank you for performing here today. Good luck with the Battle of the Bands. And definitely be sure to let me know if you have something recorded, and we want to try to promote that too.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.